everybody, and welcome to Subnautica. I have a bit of a strange video for you today. For October and my series of somewhat spookier videos, I had the idea to play some Subnautica and try to find some scary stuff, because I get pretty freaked out by the ocean and deep water. However, I have never played Subnautica before. Well, that's not entirely true. I will talk about that at some point in this video, but I have not played much Subnautica before. And so, I had no, save file or anything that could get me out to the really scary stuff in the game. So what I thought I would do is start it up in creative mode and then just go out hunting for spooky stuff. So, that is what, oh my god. Jesus Christ, okay. So, yeah, here we have, a giant sea monster. And I didn't remember how early I stumbled into that, so that gave me a little jump there. Yeah, I was freaking out right here, and I know that in creative mode you can't be hurt, but I was still freaking out. So, also I was panicking right here. I was like, I need to get the vehicle thing out so I can build the bigger submarine, but I was terrified that monster was just gonna swim up to the surface. The Cyclops, we were building the Cyclops. So, we're going to be exploring the world of Subnautica. I'm just going around blind. I don't know. This is my first time ever getting into this submarine. This is my first time ever really exploring the world of Subnautica. I don't know any of the locations or the biomes or anything like that, so I should say that if you are a Subnautica fan or, player of it, you might be laughing at me as I wander around very clueless. I do know that there's another ASMR YouTuber who has a lot of Subnautica videos, and that is Oven ASMR. So if you are into Subnautica and want to see good gameplay and lore from the game, you should check out Oven ASMR. I will link them in the description. So, when I said that I had played a little bit of Subnautica, I said that because I have actually recorded like, I think an hour and a half of Subnautica gameplay for an ASMR video. And that's mostly just me in the beginning of the game, swimming around the shallows and such, so I'm going to release that video at some point, and that is my actual first experience playing Subnautica. And I decided to do this one first, though, just because of October and my desire to do, some spookier themed videos. And I think this might actually, oh Jesus. Okay, we have some big fish swimming around us here. I apologize, by the way, if I might swear a little more in this one, or be a bit more vulgar. I try to tone that down in my ASMR videos, oh my god. Because, I want ASMR that I make to be chill. And I know some people don't like swearing, and I swear like a sailor in real life. I mean, I don't know, maybe not more than the average person, but I swear pretty often in real life, so I do try to pull that back for my videos, just for the sake of, creating a calm environment. We have looks like some wreckage here from the spaceship that we crashed onto the planet with. We are just in an absolute abyss here. It is almost entirely black water around us. So we are returning to the surface. I think I got a little too scared of being down there. But yeah, so this video kind of starts off like this, wandering around, getting freaked out, setting my engine on fire. So I'm running around trying to figure out how to put that out. But at a certain point, this video becomes a little less freaky and intense, just because I got a little, I just didn't want to go back down into the scary places, so I ended up just exploring some more peaceful landmarks. So this video is a little, just a little all over the place, I guess. Yeah, I think this video is gonna come out maybe right after October, because I had like a certain number of videos planned for October, and I think I have one more on my roster at the moment than I do days left in October that I'm going to post videos from my normal schedule. So even if this is right past October, we're treating this as part of the October release schedule. So here I have discovered that you can create upgrades for the Cyclops sub that you are in. I almost said the Titan sub, but it's good that it is not a Titan. That would be very, very bad for us if it were. So yeah, I'm going to install some of these upgrades, and hopefully that will help our engine not burst into flame in the future. So we have some new capabilities. Got our very big ship over there. The crashed ship, of course. Subnautica begins with the ship crashing down on this water world, and you escape in an escape pod, which then lands in the water, and you emerge to find yourself on an alien world. So, you have to, it's a survival game, you have to explore around underwater and find resources to survive. So I built a sonar upgrade now for the sub, and so it is taking away periodically, releases a ping which highlights my surrounding environment, and we get these pings up on my we get these pings on my HUD that seems to, I'm not sure exactly what it means. I think it is it's like a proximity sensor for things being close to that part of your ship. Whether that be land, seafloor, or a giant sea monster that wants to eat us. And I didn't know how any of these systems worked when I was recording this video, because again, I only played for about 90 minutes. I did very, very little in the game. Certainly never got a submarine. So once I got this thing in creative mode, I was learning on the job. That my engine could burst into flame. I'm trying to manage my engine overheating now that I know that can happen. See, that's the kind of sea life I'm okay with. These little peaceful creatures. This one is some kind of giant electric eel thing. I much prefer this over giant leviathans. The leviathans, right? I believe is what they're called. So we are just cruising around. Checking out the areas at the moment. Of course, this whole time I'm quite stressed that some giant creature is going to come out of the middle distance and just, I mean, they don't even really do anything to me because I'm in creative, but pardon me for still being scared, okay? But yeah, I don't know any of the biomes. I don't know the directions. I don't know, like, where interesting things are or anything like that, so this was all very blindly played. I started this session going in the direction that I did just because the spaceship was there. And that was at least a point of interest, so I thought I'll go check that out. I didn't expect that, 2 minutes into the video, I was going to be jump scared by a big fish. So we have some more controls here: internal lighting, external floodlights. We have our fire suppression system here. A little health bar for our submarine. The environments here are pretty striking. Now that I'm watching the playback and not in the moment, I can appreciate the aesthetics a little bit more. And a little bit later on, I do stumble into a very beautiful biome, even if I was kind of freaking out. I pushed myself to get out of the submarine and swim around. Warning, entering ecological dead zone. Crater edge, crater edge. Crater edge, so are we... this whole environment in a crater? Or... no, because we're descending deeper. Oh no, we're going into a crater, I suppose. Oh yeah, that's... Jesus. Yeah, I was not having a good time here. I'm just like holding down on the ascend button. Get me out of here, get me away from this thing. That probably would have like insta-killed me, right? I guess they put those out here to keep you away from the abyss, I assume. Ecological dead zone, huh? Explain that giant fish, then. If it's such a dead zone, I like I was lied to. Fire detected. I don't care, I was not easing off on the engine until we were back at the surface. Also, I'm pretty sure I don't even have to worry about the fire because I'm on creative mode, so not really a big deal, but it's not very relaxing to pilot a submarine that is ablaze, right? So I think the video kind of calms down here, I'm pretty sure. I don't think there's really any more like jump scares or freaky things. Actually at the very end I return to the ship and kind of explore that area. But for now, I'm pretty sure this is a peaceful stretch. We have a peaceful stretch here. After getting freaked out by those two giant sea monsters, I decided that I didn't really want to encounter them anymore. And I know that the whole point of the video was for me to freak out a little bit, scare myself, but I chickened out. I said no more, no more. Yeah, I guess maybe I wasn't swearing too much in this video. If I had been recording live, there definitely would have been a lot more of that. Just following this one around. We're chilling, we're chilling. See, we can live in peace here. We don't need to be afraid. He's just looking for his next meal. Okay, I think he just screamed at us though, so we are going to get out of there now. I imagine it's pretty scary to run into those guys when you're not on creative mode. I expect they're probably a big threat. Can you kill those guys in this? I think I saw there was a torpedo pod or something. Oh wait, no, that was like a distraction torpedo, right? Not really an actual weapon. We are on fire again, because whenever I get pursued by a big monster, I say we are not slowing down until I have left that thing far in the rear view. Just checking around with the camera to make sure that we do not have that thing on me. Big ship. Big ship. So, yeah, the world of Subnautica I did find kind of interesting by the end of this game session. I found some locations that I explored that were kind of intriguing, and it's part of why this video veered off course a little bit because, well, my initial intention was to just explore, dark, scary areas. I ran into some stuff that was kind of intriguing, so I just decided, I don't have to keep scaring myself, I can just go do that. Plowing headfirst into a school of fish. So, I think around here is when I find a kind of cool biome that I decided to explore for a little bit. The sonar is revealing this kind of forest-looking thing. And our floodlights reveal it with some more color. And we have these giant floating, I don't even know, giant like floating mushroom looking sea creatures that kind of whale-like have developed an explosion of life on their backs. So I decided to fight my fear a little bit and get out of the submarine. So that is what we are going to do here. I'm going to go take a look at this stuff in person. Out we go. I felt kind of comfortable around these giant things. I figured if there were any monsters around that were going to be eating living creatures, they would probably not be, these giant, slow-moving targets would not be alive in this area, so I figured I was, kind of safe enough anyways. They have this kind of, bioluminescent glow to their underside that looks a little bit like a mushroom's gills. And they have some younger members of their species over here. Little, kind of tubes expanding and contracting. Maybe for locomotion. So we are way above some deep, dark water, so we are going to descend, and see what we can find. So we have some very beautiful ethereal creatures here. These kind of light blue, I don't know, this kind of gossamer strands of blue coming off of this creature. It's very gorgeous. Up there we can see one of those electric creatures. Lots of bioluminescence down this deep. Both of sedentary creatures and of motile sort of wavy blue ones. And around this point I started to feel kind of peaceful because having, been down here for a while, I felt like I was probably safe. There was going to be some giant freaky creature that came out of nowhere and made me shit my pants. So, I was having a good time. We found a little ruby for our troubles. Very nice, very nice. I like these electric guys. They're they're kind of highly segmented bodies. So, I see the lore of this beautiful undersea world. But we are returning to our submarine now. And perhaps going to venture off to some new area. I love these giant whale creatures. Very peaceful. Also, my stomach is rumbling away, so as usual, apologies if you can hear that. I think we can turn off our lights in here. Just blend into the darkness. Blend into the darkness. So let's go back to surface. I just kept returning to the surface so I could find the ship, and keep a kind of reference point on the horizon for where I was going. It was helping for my sense of direction to make sure that I could keep this thing in view. So, have you played Subnautica? Do you enjoy it? I talk about it a little bit in my other video, but it's not really my type of game because of the survival crafting elements. I've played too many survival crafting games at this point in my life. They were kind of fun when they first came out, but I've been around that block a few too many times. But this seems like a pretty fun one with a unique spin, the whole underwater aspect of it. I saw that there's a kind of a walking underwater mech suit thing, which looked kind of cool. Here I'm adding more engine efficiency upgrades because I'm wondering if that'll help my engine not burst into flames consistently. So I'm trying to avoid my engine exploding on me. Strangely enough, I don't want that to happen. Also, here I found the customization of the sub screen, so kind of I fiddle with this for a bit. We have a base color, a stripe 1, and a also find here we can change the saturation. So I'm going to customize our sub, our not Titan sub, our definitely not Titan sub, and I'll give it some very garish colors here. And I will also name it. I'll give it a name. After I pick a color for the name, make it a nice pink, and we will name the sub the Nautilus. The Nautilus, to make a nice little Jules Verne reference. So now our sub is nice and beautified, so I'm gonna go take a look at it, see what kind of creation we have made here. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Now that is pretty chic. That is pretty chic. Got some sensors on top, up in the Nautilus. The name emblazoned on the side here. A little map. The map does not seem to be doing anything. Not sure how that functions exactly. Maybe we're just, I don't know, the deep water. There's no terrain out here, so it's not giving us any definition on the map. I don't know. So, back at the helm, we will come up back to the surface, reorient ourselves, and here's where I started kind of getting off track a bit, because I saw this island. And I got curious. My curiosity got the better of me. So, I'm going to explore this island for a bit, for I think quite a while actually. Because it turns out that there's a lot to explore here. And did it help that it would also give me an excuse not to go back into the scary places? Yes, that might have been a factor. Also, the render distance is crazy. I'm getting like way up close to stuff, and then suddenly whole structures are appearing from thin air. So we have some signs of intelligent life having existed on this planet at some point. We have this very geometric tower structure here, with a ship off in the distance, which they made sure to render that even at large distances. It's kind of interesting actually, because if you didn't have the very short render distance, you could probably see stuff like this island from the beginning of the game. But it's all hidden by the render distance. Is that just... could I change that in the settings, or is that kind of baked in? Because it's interesting, it has a very significant effect on the gameplay, right? And game where exploration is such a large facet of the game, sort of inhibiting a player's exploration by not showing them landmarks off in the distance. You might find that a bit of a problem, or maybe it preserves some kind of mystery. These crab guys I find very funny. Their design is funny enough, but also they just throw themselves into the air randomly like that. That one tried to jump on my head like a damn head crab. I'm playing Half-Life 2 here and I didn't even know it. So, with the strangeness of this island, I decided to do a little investigating. I got curious. So we have descended down into the flooded caverns under the island. And I have my little handheld propeller device. I forget what this is called. I know the sea moth, that's not it. The sea moth is the mini submarine that I was in earlier. We have found a tablet, a purple tablet, which will surely fit into that purple console slot that we saw earlier. The bubble trail left by this thing, it did occasionally kind of freak me out, which I guess is akin to being scared by your own shadow. But when I would turn around and see this like giant explosion of bubbles in my face, it would make my heart skip a beat. I was very drawn in by this. It looked like a giant pink eye. But I think they are just massive versions of the floater creatures that can stick onto things and lift them up in the water. We have a large chunk of wreckage here, which I am going to explore a little bit. However, I will be stymied pretty quickly because I do not have some kind of laser cutter device to cut through sealed doors. Right here. I need to cut that open, but I do not have the capability, so I'm checking my inventory to see if it came preloaded, but it did not. So we will get out of this wreckage, and is it a friendly creature? Or would that attack me? Would that attack me if I weren't in creative? Is all of this was wreckage from our ship. The ship seemed pretty whole from a distance. Kind of, intact, but it is a really big ship, so there might have been, chunks of it missing underwater or something that I didn't notice. And I guess if it was, shot out of the air by a big laser gun or something, presumably that would have blasted some of its internal stuff out of the ship. So the moon has risen, the giant orange moon. But now that we have the purple tablet, we can go pop that bad boy in here, and voila. The force field has been lowered. So now we are inside this alien structure, which is a pretty cool design. Very blocky, geometric, with this kind of green lighting everywhere. So, big wall there. I was not expecting how expensive this facility was. I just, I don't know, I thought it would be a little quick trip in and out, but this thing went a lot deeper than I expected. So I'm also collecting these little cores that I have no idea what they are. Well, I find out what they do later in the video, but at the time I was playing, I had no idea what they were. We also have an elevator here that safely levitates us down to the lower level force field control. There's a lot of force field control panels. Oh, I guess if you come up through this area, there would probably be a force field there to force you to find another tablet. But once we came in, I imagine that was shut off automatically. So we have an underwater entrance to the facility, and I was drawn out by this large cube in the distance here with a strange structure on top of it. This sort of diamond-shaped gate. However, after investigating for a minute, I found no explanation for what this thing is, no way to interact with it, so I gave up. And we will zip back in to the alien structure here. Come flying in at high speeds and keep exploring. We have sort of a display case, I guess, with here we have another one of these big diamond gates. Very, very mysterious. Very mysterious. We will find out what these do shortly. I eventually find one that I can interact with. We will continue our way up following these ramps. A purple tablet. The aesthetic is in many ways very different, but this kind of reminds me of the Forerunner structures from Halo 1, Halo Combat Evolved. They're not, super similar aesthetically, but kind of some through lines. They're very stark, very barren, of like amenities and stuff, but also with kind of very intricate design detailing. So we have a little scanner. Did that like stick us with something there? The control panel is broadcasting a message. Translation reads, "Warning, defected individuals may not disable the weapon. This planet is under quarantine." And then I went and pressed it again because I was curious what would happen. Translating background broadcast, downloading summary to databank. So, the, I guess, plot of the game, based on these little interactions, seems like some old alien society quarantined this planet for some reason. Some kind of infection on it. And presumably the weapon referenced is the gun that shot our ship out of the sky for breaking the quarantine. And maybe over the course of the game you can find a way to cure yourself of the infection, or, trick the system into thinking that you're not infected or something, and then you'll have the authority to turn off the weapon, and then you could build a ship to leave. I noticed in the vehicle builder that there was some kind of rocket schematic that seemed like it was a way to leave the planet, so I imagine that would be the overall goal of the game. Although I'm sure that's much more difficult to do when you're not playing in creative like I am. Nice little beach here. Very nice little island. No giant leviathan sea monsters gonna attack you on the beach, so if I crash landed here, I would probably just come to the beach and never go in the water and just eat those crabs and live here for the rest of my life. But I'm going to continue exploring up the pathways of the island. So we'll see what's going on up here. Also, my roommate's, sorry, not my roommate, my neighbor's washing machine has just turned on. So my apologies for that if you can hear it. You know, it's very rude of them to try to clean their clothes. Very rude. They should just stink really badly so that I am never inconvenienced in my recording. The reactor will reach a super critical state. Okay, so the PDA voice has told me that the ship is about to undergo a quantum detonation, I think. So let's sit here and watch the fireworks. There it goes. There it goes. Kaboom. Kaboom. Is there a way to, like, can you, I like that, I'll provide you with the, a radiation suit. Can you stop that if you're really fast? Can you rush in there and, stabilize the core or something? Or is that, just a mandatory event in every Subnautica run? Are there Subnautica speedrunners who, like, have gotten off the planet before the core goes quantum? Kind of surprised that that didn't just kill me. Like a nuclear reactor exploding or something. I guess it's a quantum reactor. I don't know how that works. Maybe it's perfectly fine for a quantum reactor to explode. Maybe that doesn't cause any problems at all. But anyway, I figured out what the gates are for. They are teleporters. So I have stepped through and been teleported to some distant island. So I'm going to explore this new area. See some new sights. This one is nice. I like this little pool in the center of the island. So we're going to explore here for a little bit, and I promise we will get back in the water at some point. But, you know, for a guy like me, the best parts of Subnautica are when I am not in the water. Because this is just like a nice little hiking trip, basically. You have some pretty sight lines. I like it up here. And this is also kind of interesting. I saw this up at the top of the mountain, and I wanted to go check it out. There is this, what looks like a human-built module here, but very old and decayed. So seems that there were some humans on this planet before our ship crash landed here. Not sure if you get some more information about that over the course of the game. I imagine you would. So, with this island, we've done enough exploring above water, so let's go ahead and drop off into the ocean again. Oh, this island is like actually floating. That's weird. Unfortunately, I kept my vehicle builder, so instead of going all the way back to our Cyclops sub, we can simply conjure another out of thin air. Very convenient. And I wanted to check out the exploded ship, the part of it that exploded. So we are going to end the video by traveling back there. If I can ever figure out how to package this up again. But I keep climbing up. There we go. So, when I said that we might have some slightly spooky stuff coming up, it is because we are going to be going back into that freaky zone around the big ship. And we might bump into some leviathans again. And I actually remember, I did get kind of freaked out again at this part because it's like the water's all murky, and the ship, I think from the destroyed ship, everything is like rumbling for some reason, and then the leviathans are all swimming around, and it was getting my my blood pumping again. So, but now I'm a master of Subnautica, so this time I'm going to be upgrading my sub first before we head into the scary waters. I will be upgrading my sub. Inventory full. So let's go put some upgrade cylinders in. Too many purple tablets in my inventory. I'm carrying too many purple tablets. Also, damn, that like fruit or whatever we picked up is 4 blocks wide. Or 4 blocks large, rather. There's definitely some inventory management in this game. I remember when I was playing it in the other video that I'm going to release, I picked up a bunch of like fruit or something. I cut off some stuff from like kelp plants, and we're back in the scary waters, guys. And then I looked at my inventory and they were each 2 by 2. And it was just completely annihilating my inventory space. And I wanted some other upgrade in here that I didn't put in. I think the sonar. So I'm doing a little swapperoo. Pop out the thermoreactor. Okay. Do we have it now? There we go. Now I have my sonar. so I can get a little forewarning when a giant freaky ass fish is swimming at me. So here we go. Keep your eyes peeled. Engine overheating. My engine is always overheating, bro. Why do they even put that speed on here? My engine's always overheating. Okay. We have the ship coming into view here. And we do have some visitors in the water. Even just the way that stuff emerges from the darkness on the sonar is kind of scary. You just see it like outlining these objects in the distance. And I think I'm being attacked by a fish right now. Big ass, ugly ass fish. I think so, somewhere. I can't see it. I can't see anything. Maybe not. Oh, there's one there. Is there one there? Yes, there's one there. Okay. Yeah, this is when I was freaking out, because there's just like everything was rumbling and like couldn't tell what was. Oh, jeez. Okay, I knew that one was there. That shouldn't have scared me. Alright, we're going to, I think, just circle around the big ship. Oh, great, we had a fire. Fire detected. Wow, fire. My engine has burst into flames. That never happens. Alright, we're going to circle around the crashed ship here and see if we can get a good look at the part that exploded and get a closer look at that. So let's see here, let's see. Going to, gotta slow down. Vessel cavitating, excessive noise. What does cavitating mean? Cavitating. The vessel is cavitating. I don't think I've ever heard that word before. Cavitate. Alright. Just keeping my eyes peeled for any more of these leviathans. I've made enough friends in the ocean today. I don't think we need to meet anymore. My vessel is cavitating again, bro. Damn, girl, did that vessel cavitate? Alright. I think, we are coming around the back here. So, we are seeing the wreckage of the ship. Yeah, well, it is wrecked back here. My fire suppression system is on cooldown, so we're gonna have to do this one manually. Gonna have to do this one ourselves. Alright. Put out this fire. I mean, I probably could have just hopped out and swam into the ship, but we don't want this nice submarine to burn down, do we? So let's get closer and see if we can find a way up. See if we can find a way to enter the ship. In my other video, I was kind of curious if you could explore the ship, if you could go into it. It was so huge, you know, and I didn't know that there were like any land sequences. I was kind of like, do they just want you to be underwater the whole game? But I didn't know that there were things like that island that I came across. And apparently you can go into this ship after it explodes here. Can I just take my fire extinguisher and put out all these fires? Can you do that? Oh, we've got crabs up here. See, this is what I'm talking about. This ship's warp core or whatever. It's quantum core, right? Somebody just rang my doorbell. But I'm so close to this video being over. Okay. Alright, I have resolved the ringing of the doorbell. And I said I only had like a minute left of footage. You couldn't have at least waited for me to finish before you rang my doorbell. People are so inconsiderate these days. So inconsiderate. So anyways, thank you for joining me on this somewhat spooky exploration of Subnautica. And I mean somewhat spooky for a little bit, and then it just turned into basically wandering around Subnautica. But until next time, my friends, thank you for joining me. Please take care of yourselves, and I will do the same.